Information
Okay,
request
so-
by board member.
All right. That was the opportunity to have questions read into the record. We have one question asked to be read into the record for a statement. How much punctuation? This is from Michael John at 7401 Dogwood Lane. I assume it's a question. When did the superintendent advise the school board of the change in curriculum by using diversity center modifications? Do you want to answer that real quick, or do you want to read his comment first?
I guess the Northeast Ohio Diversity Center was selected as part of our Embrace All work. This was the second year that they've done professional development for us. There has not been a change in the curriculum. The workshop they did was specifically designed to help teachers better relate to and therefore embrace, which is part of our board adopted mission statement, students of varying gender orientations, sexual orientations, I shouldn't say gender identifications and sexual orientations. So this was not a curricular piece at all. In fact, and I've gotten several emails about this because folks have asked, why are you trying to hide this from the parents? Because on the worksheet, it actually says, this is not to be used with students. And so some have alleged that we were trying to hide it and not let the teachers give it to the kids because the kids will show their parents and that's what they're learning at school. And that's not it at all. It was specifically designed as a tool to help our teachers have more tools in their toolbox to relate to a greater diversity of students. And that was where it was to die. It is not meant as any type of basis in a lesson or any type of piece of our curriculum.
You still want me to read this? Verbatim, statement 2010-2022 from Michael Johns, subject policy 2416. Based on this policy, there can be no discussion of any sexual orientation of any type with any student without parents' permission, unless the student is over the age of 18 or emancipated. If a student talks to a staff member about sexual orientation of any type, that conversation must stop, and the parents or guardian must be notified before that conversation goes any farther. This policy makes it clear that a staff member may not discuss psychological or sex behavior or sex attitudes without direct permission of the parent. With that said, it makes the Parma City Schools Administration in direct violation of policy 2416 and other listed below for dissemination of attached document of the Diversity Center. This document instructs teachers and staff not to share dependent information with students, which in turn denies the parents of any knowledge of what is being taught in the classroom. And I quote, 1, this handout is specifically designed for educator and school staff professional use only. Students should not be given access to any resources or information on this document. 1, the Diversity Center document is a direct violation of policy 2416 based on its sexual content. 2, the Diversity Center document directs staff members to change curriculum without board approval, a direct violation of board policy. 3, the Diversity Center document handed out is in direct violation of policies 2020 or 2210, 2605, and 2520.2. 4, the Diversity Center document handed out is in direct violation of state and federal laws and policy 2270 by referring to religious websites to be used for the educational process. Last page of our reference materials. Based on paragraph 5 of policy 2416 and the above quote from the Diversity Center handout, 1, denies parents the afforded review of all curriculums. The individual or individuals that disseminated this document to staff members directing them to change daily curriculum without permission of the school board must be reprimanded and or terminated immediately for violation of state and federal law and the OLA policies used by the Parma City School District. The Diversity Center contract must be terminated immediately for violation of federal and state laws by recommending the religious items to be inserted into the school's curriculum. Also for coercion of staff members to directly violate school policies and statutory laws. Michael Johns. That's it. So, wow. Would you like?
Yes.
I'm like flabbergasted.
So I would like, this is what I would like to say.
the content covered in the diversity training is not one of the items listed in our policy that require parental consent. Those items are political affiliations, mental or psychological problems, sex behavior, attitudes, and I will get back to that in a second, illegal or antisocial behaviors, critical appraisals of parents or close family members, income, religious practices, or privileged relationships like your lawyer, your doctor, your priest, things like that. Britannica defines human sexual behavior or human sexual activity as an activity solitary or between two persons or in a group that induces sexual arousal. Gender identity and sexual orientation do not induce, in and of themselves, induce sexual arousal, which is the definition of sexual behavior. Therefore, this is not one of those items. Under this interpretation, it would say that if my daughter decided to go on a prom date with someone, she's discussing that she is heterosexual, and therefore the school would need to call me and tell me that my daughter is heterosexual and get permission to discuss the fact that my daughter is going to prom with a person of the opposite sex. That is that is exactly what the interpretation of that is. So it is not in violation of that. I do not know the reference content to the religious item. That would be something I think you can take a look at.
I'd be happy to take the entire statement and put together, I believe I have 72 hours.
Yeah.
Are those working hours or are those?
You actually technically have them for the next board meeting.
Yeah, it was always weird. It said 72 hours or the next.
Or the next board meeting.
No, it actually calls out for the next board meeting for the answer.
Be happy to get that ready for the next board meeting.
Yeah, it says within the next 72 hours or by next scheduled board meeting.
I mean, that's just bizarre.
It's in
You have
case
3 days or 2 weeks. Up to
Well,
you.
it's in case we have back-to-back board meetings.
I'll give you 2 weeks. I'll give you 2 weeks.
Thank you so much,
Here.
All right.
Just as long as there's an answer.
All right. Any others? No. All right.